Hey guys, welcome to another ride in the struggle bus for Wheels Meant to Triangle. On today's bus ride, we're playing against a 12K on OGS. In fact, the same 12K that we played on our last bus ride. And just like that game, this one is also quite dynamic. Our friend gave us a very fun game. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Before jumping into the thank yous, I wanted to announce that I've added a new tier to my Patreon, and that one comes with a monthly group class, which is interactive. And so you get to show up and ask questions as we go over various topics and look at some game reviews as well. So if that is something that interests you, go take a look at it. So as per always, I'd like to thank our opponent for playing us today. I'd like to thank you guys for watching these videos. I'd like to thank my Patreon subscribers for supporting the channel. So let's go jump into this game. Okay, here we go, a little further in, but either way, we are playing against a 12K on OGS. Actually, this is the same guy we played last time, so that is always exciting. So we'll be focusing on our basics and our beyond the basics. So our corner is being approached. We will respond to this. Typically, I have been playing this diagonal, but you want to know what? We'll do this kick. This is also a variation that we see frequently. And our friend extends, and we will jump. And they should probably play something over here, and they did. So let's go after a corner because we have Sensei now. We do not need to respond to this. And so we'll just go after this corner. We'll go approach high. Could have approached high, could have approached low, could have approached this corner. All of those are fine. Okay, so we get a fun pincer. This is quite far away. Far away enough that we actually don't really need to respond to this, but let's keep it simple, and we will. We can look at jumping out, or we can just look at attaching to this stone, and so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to attach to the 3-4 stone. This is typically how we'll follow this up if we play here, and then they tanuki, or play a far pincer. And then when they hane, we can just come back. And when they play here, we can look at doing something like this. And it's a little tricky, right? Because we're kind of attaching to a weak stone here. But it's okay, because it'll get our group strong. And it's really not that big of a deal, because this stone wasn't a target for us. So it's hard to say that we are attaching to a weak stone. We really couldn't target it. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We get approached. I think we are just going to respond and pull back. We could look at kicking, but then, that kind of forces them to turn this into something. I really don't want that quite yet. So we're just going to slide back, though we absolutely could have kicked. That would have been fine. Okay, so now our friends responds. We will respond as well. And they should hane, hane at the headed two. It does hurt, but it is okay. But instead, they are attaching over here. We will play out this variation. I don't recommend you guys play this variation as black, because it's easy to mess it up. But we're just going to hane here. Black should hane, and then we go and we take this Atari, forces black to respond, and then we go and we play this hane here. There's another option. We can descend. But it's very complicated, and it wouldn't be the thing to do here. You do this when you want to develop the bottom side. There's obviously nothing to develop on the bottom side, so we are just going to play this. Black will block e2 now. We will connect, and now black has the option of killing the stone or extending. And we can just tanuki here. This is fine. This group is perfectly strong. This group is perfectly strong. We could look at doing something like this, because I say this group is strong, but like looking at it, does it really look strong? And you might look at this and go, that group doesn't look strong. And you want to know, I would not fault you for looking at this and thinking that group does not look strong. So let's go and play a move over here to strengthen this. And if we're looking to strengthen this group's already settled, so we can actually lean on the strength of it. So we're going to attach to the stone. Now this is not a weak stone. This is a strong stone. So we're allowed to attach to these. We could have played c9 instead. So now our friend is playing a second line move, which is a little unfortunate, right? Second line moves are pretty small. We really want to be focusing on third and fourth line moves. So I am gladly going to take these third line moves while our friend takes a second line move. They should probably extend at this point. And they turn here, which is reasonable, but we already have strength with this group, especially now that we've played this. And our friend, I mentioned that they probably should have played d11. That's what I meant by extending. And when you expect your opponent to play a move and they don't play it, you should consider playing that move. It's not always the thing to do, but in this case, I am going to play it. So I'm going to play here. And then I expect black to extend, and we can extend as well. And so this keeps black really low and keeps us nice and strong. We do have a cut here that we need to be a little concerned about. So let's find a nice efficient way to fix it. So we could just connect, but that's bad shape. We could do a tiger's mouth. It's reasonable. This is probably the move I would play. But let's keep it simple, and go and play the tiger's mouth, because this is a move that we would expect to see. And I do want to keep things a little simpler. Okay, so our friend plays here. I think a Hane would have been a little stronger. So the question is this Sente? And we have a group that has a base, pretty much, and a way to run it. So since this group has two ways to get strength, or to live, we really don't need to respond to this. So this move is not Sente. So we can go and play the biggest move on this board. Where is the biggest move on this board? Well, we go to the rules. And the rules say go for the corners if they are open. We have a corner that is very, very open. So we'll go and we'll play low here just to mix things up. We played the high approach at p4, so we'll just play a low approach at r15. Let's see if we get pincered again. We do not. We get kicked. So we will extend. And our friend will jump. And then we have the option of playing high or playing low. In this case, I'm going to play high. I like having influence. You guys probably know that by now, that I enjoy taking influence, and so I'm more prone to play the higher move. So I mentioned that this group was okay, right? Because we had a base and we could jump out. But now our opponent is threatening to take away our ability to jump out. So the question is do we need to respond to this? And I think we probably should. So I'm going to look at playing something like this, but then we need to be okay with this cut, which I think we are. So we will go and play this knight's move, and we'll see what our friend does with that. If you have the option between playing a second line move to live or jumping out to try to live, I recommend jumping out, because we don't want to get surrounded. So in this case, I would rather live by running out than by slinking away to the second line. So now our friend plays here, which reduces the potential of this group. But the question is, does it affect the strength of that group? That group is in any trouble now. Meaning, is this move Sente? It's really important to consider this. Is this move Sente? I do not think so. This group is perfectly healthy. So let's go play a big move. So all the corners are pretty much spoken for at this point in time. So let's look at the sides. What sides are open? We have the top side, and we have the right side. On the top side, we have opposing third line stones, and that usually means that there's really nowhere to develop here. So we can't play a fourth line move because it'll just get undercut. And so there's really not much to be gained on the top. On the right-hand side, on the other hand, we have a fourth line stone. So we have good potential off this stone, and we've got this group that also would probably want to develop at r9. So let's go play a move on this side. I think this is the larger side, and this, enlarges our potential here, reduces black's potential. It really doesn't affect the strength of this group. This group is fairly strong, but I wouldn't be surprised if black responds with r7 or descends to s2. So let's see what they do. They tanuki. You want to know what? I think that is a perfectly fine move. So like I said, I think this group is okay as is. And so the question is, do we need to respond to this? And I'm not so sure we do. I think we probably want to pressure this group a little bit. So let's go and surround it. Stop this group from being able to run out. And now they probably do need to play something like s2 to live. This stone also strengthens our group. Gets it out, so we don't need to respond to s2 if our opponent does play there. But instead, they kick. Perfectly fine move. So we can look at extending this way. We can look at extending this way. But fourth line moves larger than second line moves. Let's go do this. It also connects to this stone. And so this, increases our potential here, really gets us some strength in the center, which will become important. And so I like this move. Okay, and so our friend plays the very unfortunate empty triangle. This looks to cut here. And so the question is, can we endure this cut? And I think we can, especially if we descend. Because then this group will be nice and strong, this group will be nice and strong. And this threatens, to take a little bit of some eye space away, but not really. This group is still fine. And so do we need to protect this cut? And I really don't think we do, but this is basics. And our basics say we should be protecting cuts. So I am going to protect this cut. And I'm just going to connect solidly. I don't want to play the tiger's mouth and have a peep be available. So I'm just going to play here just to protect our cuts. It's one of our basic rules for a reason. So that is why I played here, though I do feel we could have played away. Okay, so black is looking to push in. There is a cut here that we need to be mindful of. So we will go and block here. And so now black plays here, which threatens this cut. So I think we will just go and protect this cut now. We could go and take this Atari, but then black can Atari here and capture these two stones. Do not want that to happen, so we will protect our cut. Though a case could be made that we could sacrifice these two stones because they're not terribly important. But we saved them. Okay, so now black wants me to play here. This isn't great shape, but black played bad shape to get this. So this is kind of, matching bad shape. So we will play our power triangle. Remember, when you play it's the power triangle. When your opponent plays it is the empty triangle. Is an important distinction. So we do not have good shape here, but our opponent played a bad shape move to get us to respond to that. So it is fine. Okay, so our friend plays here, which threatens, some stuff here. I'm not too concerned. The question is this sensei? And I don't think so. I don't think there's a follow-up that I'm too worried about. What I am worried about is what this could potentially turn into. So all I'm going to do is play a move to reduce this potential. And we're going to play a fourth line move here. We do have to respect the strength that black has. Okay, black attaches. We are going to play the Hane here. We're going to see how black responds to this. Black plays the Hane on this side. Here, we absolutely need to connect. And so that is what I'm going to do. Just going to connect. Now this stone is kind of a little lonely, which is good. And so black recognizes that and looks to run out. I like this play by black. And we will jump out here. We're extending off of two stones. So we have enough strength to be able to do a 2-space jump. And now black jumps here. And I like this because this does threaten to make this cut here, because there is still a cut here. This threatens to make this cut here a little more painful, and this looks to jump in here. So I'm going to block this. I think this is more important. Let's see if we can, solidify some territory and then deal with this later. And so now black recognizes that these two stones were potentially cut off and jumps out here. Really like this move. I think this is a fantastic move. So I'm going to go do something with this group, because now that we're surrounded, we want to take care of this corner a little bit. So I'm just going to descend here, secures the corner a little more, has some follow-ups over here. It was not a sensei move. Our opponent did not need to respond. But that is what they chose to do. And at this point, there's, a lot of the potential has kind of already been claimed. And now we are pretty much getting really close to endgame. So we can start looking at playing large second line moves, because I don't think there's going to be too much to be had in the center. So we can look at moves like this to get more territory here. And our opponent played a first line move. Is it too early to play this first line move? That's a good question. It is a good question, and I don't think it is. I think we can get away with playing this. It is late enough in the game, and black does protect those two stones. I think this stone is also worth protecting, so we will lay here. the stone still could have been captured, so b3 is a pretty large move. Not sensei, though. Our opponent should not respond to this. And our opponent correctly Tanukis away. And this was a pretty good Tanuki. So our group is starting to get surrounded now, so we really need to do something about this. So let's just continue to run out, get a little more strength, and then we should be okay. We can run towards this group, we can run towards this group, so I think everything will be fine. Okay, so our opponent played a stone here, which can be cut this way and cut here. So I think I'm going to cut this way first. I doubt we're actually going to be able to cut this stone off, but it is a possibility. So now the question is, yeah, I think I do want to cut this stone. I do think it is the thing to do, though black is getting some more territory here while we make these exchanges. So do we get anything by pushing through? I think we do. I think we do. So I will push. This reduces black's potential here and threatens for us to connect. So the question is, if we push through here, are we at risk of being surrounded here? And I don't think so. I think black has enough weaknesses that we can just push through, right? Because there was a cut here. Black did not protect this cut. I think we can handle these stones. But black is absolutely going to make an attempt to go after them. And I think that is a slick way to go about it. Black is going to attack hard. I like this. I like this quite a bit. So let's go play here. And then we can look at playing here. So I'll let you know, black may have gotten us on this. So let's see how this goes. I played here to threaten to kill these two stones. And now I can just connect here. And we should be able to get out fairly easily now. But I think black had a shot here, so I'm curious. In the review, I'll come back and take a look at this. Okay, so black is going very aggressive here. And so I'm going to play here. Threatens to connect to these stones. And now I can Atari this stone. And then play here. And this is just a nice shape, this J shape here. We should be able to be connected now. Black needs to be a little concerned about these four stones because there is a cut here. Okay, so black plays that. We will just connect. I think that is the thing to do here. So black was quite aggressive at going after our stones. But, you know, sometimes that comes at a cost. And here I think the cost is going to be that these stones, they might be dead. We have an Atari here, and then we can push here. Black will block and get a pretty nice territory here. I don't know why black didn't block. Black didn't block, didn't protect the cut. So we're just gonna push on through. There was nothing there. There was nothing there. If black had just played here, yeah, we get this Atari, but black is fine. But that is not what happened. So now we can keep on pushing. And we can keep on pushing. And now there's going to be some Aji here later. Because we have this Atari. So after black runs out of liberties with this group, we can play this and threaten to capture. Okay, so what do we do now? So we can take a look at this cut. It would kill those stones. It is fairly large. But I think we're just going to play large endgame moves now. And we will play this. It's Sente, and it comes with a Sente follow-up. So I like this. It is a big endgame move. And then similarly, we can play this or S2. S2 is quite large. M18 is quite large. Actually, let's look at M18. A nice Atari here. Now that we're in endgame, we want to be looking at Sente moves. We want to find Sente moves. I have no idea what this is. I have to assume this is a misclick, but our opponent has not requested a misclick. So we'll just capture, and if they Atari us, I am just going to connect because I have to assume that was a a misclick, and I don't want them to lose too many points there. Okay, they threaten to cut, so we are going to stay connected. And they are threatening to cut again. We'll go and play the bamboo joint. We're going to have bad shape either way. This is an empty triangle. This is an empty triangle. So might as well just make the bamboo joint. Takes away liberty from the stone. Is that going to matter? No. But it is something. Okay. I am going to play this. This is a move that both of us wanted. And black blocks. And so what do we have now? I think we are going to extend... and then black blocks. Is this Sente, though? It is not Sente. So, what is the biggest move on this board? Probably S2. S2 looks pretty big. But they get to play T2, and we are going to respond, but it's still a fairly large move. I do not know why our friend did not play T2, but I will gladly play T2 now. It's Gote, but it's big. For black, black has T8, which looks like it's Sente, H19, A16. Black can probably get all of those. So let's see if black can find the timing for it. Black does not. Okay. I think we're going to play here. It's a large Gote move. That is fine. Question is, do we need to save these stones? So that's my question for you guys. Would you save these stones? Would you play right here, or would you sacrifice these stones? Are there enough points to save? I don't think so. So I'm going to play here. Black wants to capture. That is fine. It is actually not a big capture at all. Okay, and we connect here. This wasn't Sente because there's actually no points for black here. But now it is Sente because we can play K18 to capture this stone. And now we can play here, which is reverse Sente. Still a Gote move, but it blocks a Sente move from black, so that is reverse Sente. Now we will play here. So now black has Sente. Black can take these two stones. That's what they threatened. Let's see if they follow up on that. They do. And so the trick here is that we're still connected, because we can play here, which Atari's this stone. And if black connects, then we capture this stone. If black connects here, then we capture this stone. So that is what we will do. We are still connected. And black really didn't get anything out of this exchange. Okay, so now black plays here. That is a fine move. I will play this Hane. We do need to be a little careful if black ends up getting d6. Okay, so b2, very large move. I will respond and play a2. If we had played a3, black could play a2, and then a1 and b1 would be 2 points for black. Playing this, black needs to play a1 and b1, so those are 0 points for black. So this was a 2-point difference between playing a2 and a3. Okay, I like that. We need to be a little careful because there's a cut here. But I think this will protect the cut well enough. And then black threatens to push through. We are going to block here. I think that is quite important. And black plays here. I will go and start the ko. Just force black to use one ko threat. And then if black does retake the ko, we're just going to connect. This isn't a ko that I'm interested in. But might as well get them to use one ko threat. Now they can retake. I'm just going to connect. Again, this is not a ko that I'm interested in, but might as well get them to use the one ko threat, because maybe there will be a bigger, more important ko that comes up later in the game. And now black has one less ko threat. Okay, black plays there. We will play this. It's 1 point, and it comes with a follow-up here. Of course, black does block there. So what else do we have? We have L2. L2 is quite a large move. So we will play this, and we will connect. That threatens K1, which comes in Sente. Does not come in Sente anymore. Then I pointed out there was T8, which was a Sente move for our opponent. So this is reverse Sente for us. So we will play here, and then connect. And all this time, these stones could be cut with N10, I believe, but we are not going to. We're not going to do that. I don't think we do not think we need to. Black plays this little bump. That is fine. We will play this. I assume black will Atari here, at which point we will connect. Yep, we'll connect. And then black plays this. So the question is this Sente? The answer is yes. Yes, it is, because if we do not play this, E17 is not an easy move to solve. So we are just going to play E17. What I mean from that is, say we played away, say we went after these stones. Black could play here, and we could not do this, because now these 4 stones are dead, and that is no fun for anybody. Okay, black plays here. This is not Sente, though, so we do not have to worry about that. We will play here. It's 1 point. It's Sente, because black needs to save those stones. Black tanukis and plays here. So that's an interesting one. I think I will just respond and do the simple response. Play on the inside. There's definitely some Aji here. Black wants us to play this so that they can play this Atari, but we're not going to let them do that. We are just going to connect. And now we can threaten to kill this stone or these 2 stones. Because remember, M19 threatened to kill these 2 stones. So we'll see which way black wants to go. I'm happy taking either one. Black plays there, sure. I will go and play this Atari. Because now if black protects these 2 stones, we get an Atari that comes with a follow-up. So that's always fun. And then black protects here. And that is okay. Let's go take these 2 stones. We can play here. It's 1 more point because it comes with a snapback. So we can just play here. If black plays here, we'll capture, but we get more points this way. So we got the capture there. And this was a good move. There we had a double peep there. So it's very slick of black to play this. Moving on, we will go and block this. So at this point, there really isn't much. It just looks like we've got like 1 point Gote moves on the board. Moves like J13 and E16, stuff like that. Yep, that's fine. That doesn't do anything. This cut does not work because we can Atari and capture. So at this point, I think we're going to catch you guys at the end of the game because, yeah, there really isn't much left. I think it's just all 1 point Gote stuff. So I will see you guys at the end of the game. Okay, so here we are at the end of the game. We're up by a little over 30. So let's go take a look at the review and see where our friends could have gone better. Okay, so here we are in the review. We'll be taking a look at this from the point of view as black. So all of this is fine. I like this pincer. So I actually play this pincer quite a bit. This one seems a little far, but there's nothing wrong with this move, and it does complicate the game, and so I approve of this. I applaud our opponent for playing moves that complicate the game. And so this all is fine. I like that they played away from M3, some very dynamic play, and then came back. So we should respond to this, and then black plays here. And I can't fault this move. I think this is all fine. I would strongly consider the Hane, but I certainly do not dislike this move. So all of this honestly went fine, I think. Here's probably the first real comment I have. I do think that black probably needs to either Hane on top or extend. We shouldn't be looking at playing a second line move. It's just moving in the wrong direction. I haven't gotten into direction of play stuff too much in these games and reviews. But when you look at this board and you go, where's the next interesting place going to be on this board? I think we can all agree that this is going to be the next interesting place on this board. So direction and play says we should be playing stones that move in that direction or give us strength in that direction. So that's why I would have considered a move like this. While this is not going to affect too much over here, it can. If we get a running fight or a ladder, it makes a difference as to what color this stone is, right? And so there are some variations, that can be played that can force ladders, and all of a sudden, if there are black stones on the outside, an advantage to black there. So yeah, playing this just kind of in the wrong direction, we go and get strength, and then we take the turn here. And so yeah, so this just, this hurt black. This is probably where black started falling behind. This was just too small of a move because black is already very strong here. White's already very strong here. So this move doesn't really do too much in terms of strength, and it's too early just to be going for points, and letting us get this turn was really big. So we played here to protect the cut, and black jumped. I don't hate this move. I do think that extending this corner is probably larger, though, where, pretty much any of these four spaces would be fine. You can choose which one you prefer. I've been playing this recently, but they are all fine. But that's what I would probably suggest doing. And so we went and took this. Fine response from black. I like this move. This is a little slow. So black has now spent 2 moves here, 1, 2, to increase their potential here and reduce our potential here. But they're inefficient, right? These probably got black 6 more points and looked to take away maybe 4 points from white. So it's like a 10-point difference, but it was 2 stones to get it. It was just inefficient, and it let us get this big move. Instead, if black had played here, and we had done something like this, this is much larger than 10 points. And G6, those 10 points I was talking about, that came with G4 and G6. So G6 is probably only around 5 points or so. So we're not going to lose games because of this, but we are going to lose points. And white getting this was quite big. I like the Tanuki. I do like our opponent's play style. It's very dynamic. They look for sensei. They take it. I think they are playing well. This is big though, right? Because it surrounds black's corner. Then black plays the unfortunate empty triangle. Black probably can Tanuki here. If black's going to respond, I would just recommend doing this. If white plays here, now we can Tanuki. And if white doesn't play here, if white chooses to Tanuki with something like this, then there are follow-ups later. So I think that would have been a little better. But black pushes a little bit, sure. We probably could have we could have Tanuki'd here, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt. And then they played here. I like this move. I like this move quite a bit. I do wonder if playing here would have been better, but I do like that this threatens, a more firm invasion over here. So I play here. I give them a nice target, but I did want to reduce the potential that was here. This is a tough move to respond to. I probably just would have jumped out immediately. The issue with this is it's attaching to a weak stone. And so this is going to force white to get stronger. Instead, if we play here, this stone is now more firmly under attack, honestly. And when we look at this, black needed to run anyway at the end of this, right? After forcing us to get strong, now J17 is that much weaker because white is that much stronger. So I think if black had just played here initially, it would have been better, potentially causing something like this. But now, white probably wants to jump out, and black can do something like this. This is going to be tricky for white. It's going to be very tricky. But unfortunately, black played here, forced white to get stronger, and now white gets to jump out, has more strength. And now this move comes with a smaller teeth, right? Because white is so much stronger compared to here. White doesn't have that same strength. So it's a little unfortunate missed opportunity there. But I do like this to get strength. Again, I mentioned they were surrounding our corner, so I wanted to play here. This is a little small. This is an endgame move. Black is certainly strong enough, strength-wise, that they shouldn't have to worry about this. Black could play a move like this to continue going after these stones, or black could look at something like this, right? Just really get in the way of white, and maybe just do something like this. And we can see how this would be a way to attack our stones while getting profit, because while black's doing this, black is developing this territory. So that's a way that black could have attacked these stones for profit. Unfortunately, black responded and gave us, some free moves here, and then played here again. Even here, I think, whoops. Even here, I think just play this. I think that is where we want to go. So black played here. We jumped out, and then I probably got a little greedy here. Truth be told, I probably should just play this. Just make some shape, go to run. I mentioned that, we've got two directions to run here. Before black played this, I said we can run this way, and we can run this way. And once black took this, we can no longer run this way. I should have just ran this way immediately. So a little greedy on me, and I think black did a reasonable job of calling us out on our insolence. Of course, black paid for it by giving us this. So it would have been really important to make sure to get a good attack on this group. And so where could black play to do that? It's tough. There's a lot of room here. So I'm not sure. I do like black's attempt here. It just unfortunately doesn't work. I actually hadn't read this out with this. I think black needed to play here, anticipating this. Because with this shape, with the stone being at h11 instead of h12, it makes a huge, huge difference. Because now, if black plays away, let's say that black plays something like this, this doesn't kill these black stones because the ladder doesn't work. And if white plays here, then black has the bamboo. But as it happened in the game, with black playing here, when we took this, now this comes in sente. I also think that black should have blocked here. It's gross shape, but this is what I was expecting. And I was worried about this. I was worried about how we were going to fight through this. So I think this was a pretty big mistake by black, because it just let us get this, which threatens to kill those two stones, and then we get to connect, and now we're free. So then we continue this fight. Not too much that black could have done here. I mentioned that black just needed to block. This was a pretty big mistake, because even if white plays here, these two stones not important. We can sacrifice those two stones. Black could get sente here to start playing big endgame moves like this, and now all of a sudden black can start coming back in the game. But playing this, it's Gote, and it let us come in, which was a little unfortunate. And then at this point in time, we're pretty much we're fully in endgame, and so it's just it's wrapping the game up, right? The potential is already there on the board. Nobody's going to get any more points than you already see. So it's just a matter of who can reduce whom more, and our opponent gave us a lot of sente moves, and so we were able to get there. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave this one today. Hope you guys enjoyed this game and the very dynamic play from our opponent. So yeah, that is where we'll leave this one. So thank you guys for coming out for another ride in the Struggle Square. Everyone's an empty triangle. Have a good one, guys.